and I'll record it so you guys can go back and view it for your pleasure. Claim space for my miracles on my behalf, on the world's behalf, on the people's behalf. The most high plans for me is to give me hope, peace, love, and joy, and I stay receptive of this divine offer flowing into my life. We're going to learn about phonetic archaeology. I'm about to tell y'all how they have just usurped so many things and how I could tie it back to me so I could be more able to assist and help those that are in need of help. Okay, so what I am gonna do until I can figure out I can figure out what's going on because I seem to always have these issues when I decide to come on live, right? I always tend to get these issues going on. And so let's see if Gemini can find what I need. It actually can. So from here, we're going to do the live from this TikTok. We're going to do a live from this other TikTok. And, oh, man. Well, I was hoping that I can flip this thing around. Let's see. It don't look like I can flip you around. Flip you around right there. All right, y'all. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Out here in TikTok situation world. So we're going to go from here. See how this works. And we're going live from the school app, which I am recording. And, ooh, this is not TikTok Studio, so I can't record it. But I'm recording over here on the school app. So what I will end up doing is I will post the recordings. The recording will be in the school app so you guys can go back and view it. I will also be having, there'll be some stuff in there too. Some worksheets that y'all can use. And once y'all use these, you can use these worksheets. I want you to use them to start tracing yourself back. Because the thing about it is now people are unaware of who they are, where they really come from, right? So now we are going to, we're going to take you back, but I'm going to take you into my history, more or less of my lineage. So for those that may come on and be like, oh, that's not true, and that's not true, and that's not true. Well, these are the records of my family, and these are records I have found to confirm who I am. Now, I don't know about nobody else because I don't know nothing about your families, but I could definitely connect myself back to the aboriginal of anything. From Mesoamerica, if you want to say the original Moors, to the 5 civilized tribes, to those Moors, I'm about to show you how my lineage, no matter how you look at it, I could go back in records and everything to show you. One side of my family, being the Olmecs, were classified as white on all censuses. I can show them to you. My Choctaw Cherokee people. Now, my great-grandfather said I'm of the Choctaw Nation. There's a record showing where he says I'm the chief of the Choctaw tribe, right? So in that, being that chief of the Choctaw tribe, you take it back and even down to my grandparents, my mother's maiden name. It's spelled Gadlin, yet on record it's spelled Godlin. So I'm gonna show you how they took it, and they'll take the vowels in your name and they'll switch them up on you. They'll switch them up real quick. You'll think your name was Jackson when it might have been that A might have been an O. It might not have always been an A. So I'm gonna take you back to show you how that could work. That's gonna help you trace your family lineage back. I'm not here to do no competition. I'm here to teach you, my love. So that's where we're going to go with this today. So if you're looking to figure out what your lineage is, because all the talk is about where you're from, who you are, Well, Prophet Noble Drew Ali didn't bring us no black, Negro, colored, African American. We're none of those. When you say you're that, you put yourself in a slave status. So you sign up to be a slave by yourself. Nobody makes you one. Nobody says you was one. You actually make yourself one by not correcting your status properly of who you are as a person. So you walk around with these labels on you, and you can take it back. This is why they treat blacks the way they do in court. You take it all the way back, it'll show you in the color of law that the Black's Law Dictionary, black has no standing in law. It's like you're walking in there saying, I'm an unalive person. I have no standing, I have no rights. So when our people are always worried about, well, why are we being treated this way? And if it was us, and if it was us. But if you really knew who you were, you are the true possessors and custodians of this land. Nobody else is. I'm not from Africa. None of my lineage ever took me there, neither. I'm from this part of Africa, but I'm not from that part of Africa. I don't look like them. My phenotype ain't them. My hair grows. My skin is copper, like the people over here on this landmass. I have the nose of the Olmecs. I got the lips of the Olmecs and the Aztecs. I look like an original person if you look at the Olmec heads. And I'm very proud of it. Because my features take me back to the ancients. So I don't have a European nose. I don't have anything that connects me to anything that looks like them. Everything that connects me looks like it came from right here. So that's what I'm here to present to you tonight. I'm here to present you the phonetic archaeology. So come back in if you like to stay in so you can learn what you need to do to properly put you and your family in the right place. Not that you're looking for nobody to come hand you a piece of paper or free you. The prophet brought this information and it's free information. So anybody that's trying to charge you for your nationality, don't fall for it, because there's not a charge to proclaim who you are. It's just about you standing in your proper self and stop allowing others to stand in your fight, which is not a fight, because all of it is here in your mind. Slavery is a mental thing. It's not a physical thing. Abraham Lincoln took the chains off of the slaves right before they unalived them. We still have 4 other things we needed to do to free ourselves. He freed us physically, but we too had to free ourselves mentally, economically, socially, religiously. The freedom of your physical gives you your 5, it makes you those 5 senses of being a true person. But without a religion, without economics, without your social status, no, there's no nation that's going to recognize you. I don't care how much you cry, scream, black and proud. I don't care how much you do that. They don't know what that is, because nowhere in the world do they call themselves black, but people in America. Everybody else connects themselves to their landmass. So we look real goofy out here, and they like, we don't even call ourselves that. So you wonder why Somalians got to come in and take all your money? You want to know why? Because you don't know who you are. You think you're who you are based on some makeup, some body parts, a lace front. That makes you. That don't make you. That makes you follow behind the gods of Europe, which you know nothing about. You trying to be like them. Why you talking about you mad at them and they racist? But you're trying your hardest to be like them. From you bleaching your skin, changing your body, changing your eyes. Be who you are. They want to be like us. They want to be just like us. They want their hair kinky like ours. They want locks. They want big lips, big noses, big booties, big teeth. They want everything we got. Yet, we're constantly talking about. They hate us. Do they really? No, they don't. They love us so much they want to be just like us, y'all. Right? They want to be just like us. Thank you, love. They want to be just like us. That's why Kendrick said they not like us. They are not like us. So tonight, you guys, and this is for all of you, And I want you to follow this pattern. If you need this worksheet, reach out to me and I will send it to you so that you can start doing your lineage and tracing yourself back to who you are. So while all this is going on in the world, when the wealth transfer comes back to us, you're going to know how to go back and get everything they owe to you. That's money, land, and they owe it with compound interest. So they just don't owe some. They owe a whole lot. And they got to give it back. It's time to give back what belongs to us, okay? So this is going to take us, not me, but us, take us a little way back. And I want to give you this opening. I'm going to give you a call to action. I'm going to give you, we're going to get into this because I want everybody to get this. I want everybody to have a family trust. I want everybody to know how to proclaim who they are. So our babies ain't got to rock around being dumb and indoctrinated by these other people. We're sending our children to be indoctrinated by people that don't look like them and have no concern about their life. And we got to stop that. I homeschooled mine, 33 to 21. So that ain't nothing new to me. Nothing new. So this is what this is. And you guys write down your family names in front of you because I want you to look at their vowels. Look at the vowels in the name because we're going to show you how they take the vowels and they switch them up on us. Okay, so I had everything in my phone, but I had to come off of this one, y'all, because I'm actually banned on the other TikTok live. They didn't like what I was talking about. Okay, here we go. So, I can't believe I was this far up. Was I? I guess I was. Okay. I guess I was this far up, wasn't I? And I'm going to have y'all a 7-day mindset daily affirmation too to do for this. Where is my thing? I hate I had to come over here because this is not where I'm supposed to be. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm going to bring you these receipts today for the whole empire, not for just some of the empire. From my Olmec grandmother in Old Mexico to my great grandfather, Chief Barry Godwin, the real Miko. Miko means chief. Miko means chief. And my uncle, John H. Johnson, who ran Ebony and the Jet Press. My bloodline is the map to the west. My bloodline is the map to the west. Y'all hear that? I love this. My bloodline is the map to the west. Whether yours is or yours ain't, I don't know. But my bloodline is the map to the west. We didn't go anywhere. We're still here. Still sovereign and still the owners of this estate. I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide today too, okay? And this step-by-step guide is going to trace your phonetics, identify your chief authority, if you have one, and lock your legacy in a family trust. I want to help you get to that point. Not to charge you for it, because whatever you're going to have to pay when you go down there to do your trust is what you're going to have to pay. Now, why people want to charge off for stuff, I don't know. The prophet brought, this is free. Whoever don't like it, that's on them. But this is supposed to be for the people, to the people, so that the people can get the information and use it for themselves. Not that we hold it and we keep it from them. We don't do that. We don't do that. So who are you on paper? Who are you in blood? Who are you on paper and who are you in blood? Do you know? They changed the letters to change your status. My family went from Godlin to Gadlin. So Godlin meaning divine source. I didn't say it. That's what it means. I'm going to tell you how it means that. To Gadlin, state property. I'm going to show you how to find the chiefs in your line and reclaim your sovereign inheritance. I've got the Olmec, the Choctaw, and the Cuban maritime receipts all lined up. I'm talking me. I'm bringing y'all proof of me. Nobody else. Whatever y'all got going on in y'all's family, that's what y'all have going on. But I'm talking about me. Because, people say, well, they didn't say that, and they didn't this, and we ain't that, and we ain't that. But I did my own research for myself. So whatever you're not, that's what you're not. But I understand who I am and whose I am at the same doggone time. So let's get these estates corrected and secured. The kingdom recognizes the empire. It's time you recognize yourself. It's time that everybody recognize their self. If the kingdom of Morocco recognizes the empire, and this being the empire, well, why you don't recognize you? Why you don't recognize yourself? Why not? No, for real though. For real though, y'all. Why you don't recognize yourself? So we're gonna get into this. So this is gonna be the week 1 lesson. This is week 1's lesson, right? Week 1's lesson. Week 1's lesson. From the divine to the administrative, finding the God in your name. The example. Sheikah Latay J. Bay. I'm going to be your example because the only way you can learn is by example. No other way, right? So I'm going to be the example for you. We're going to look at how the system wrote away the sovereignty of our leader, Sheikah Latay J. Bay. Because I understand I'm my leader, right? The divine root. The divine root of my family's name is Godlin. Or Godlin. There's a spelling that showed it as G-O-D when I was asking for it. This is what it spit out to me. Godlyn / Godlin. Now that's on record of my great-great-grandfather's last name. On his marriage certificate, it states Godlin. I'm going to put it up for you guys. It'll be in the classroom on the school app so that you can see it for yourself. And I will post it if you need me to post it. I doubt I could post it over here on this one, on StreamYard, but I will have it on the school app. You'll see the record where my great-great-grandfather's last name says Godlin. Then it changed to Gatlin. Then it came down again to Gatlin. This is how they keep writing us away. And this is how they probably wrote your family away. So that Godlin means friend of God. And it's a sovereign status. You see how quickly they could have took that from us. Because that already gave sovereign status off the top. Godlin, that's a friend of God. I'm going to even give you more of what Godlin means. No, not even what Godlin means. I'm going to take you into what 17 to tell you what that really means. So the transition says Godlin. That's a phonetic shift, a status in limbo. So they put the status in limbo. That was the phonetic shift. The mask of it all is the Gatlin. Administrative level, ward of the state. And how do you spot this shift? How do you spot this shift, right? The state doesn't change your status all at once. They do it one letter at a time. They change your status one letter at a time, which I just showed you. How they even did mine, family's lineage. They change it one letter at a time. In the 1800 census, takers were often the ones who decided how your name was spelled. If they could move you from a divine name to a colonial name, they could move you from the estate to the plantation. So if they could take your name away, they can move you from the estate to the plantation. That's what they're going to move you to. What to look for? Look for those vowel swaps. When you write your family name down, look at the vowels in the name. Because even when you're learning what your name means, like in numerology, sometimes they tell you to take the vowels out of it. So look at where your vowels are in your last names or your surnames, if that's what you call them. Look at where those vowels are. Start studying and see what vowel could have went there and how, and as you trace yourself back, because this would be a great way of tracing yourself back. As you trace yourself back, you could really see, well, what was the original letter of your name? Because we know O has always been Om. That comes from source, that Om. So Godlin had to be the name. Godlin had to be the name. The O was there first. Makes sense. So the consonant hardening. So the vowel swaps are O to A and I and E, I to E. This is the most common way they flatten the vibration of a name, just like they flatten your numbers. When you count, most people don't know how to count. They talk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 7, 9, 10. Well, 10 is not really a number, but really we have vibration. So it has to go ba-boom, ba-boom. When you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it's flat. So they're even telling you here how they flatten the vibration of your name by changing the vowels or removing the vowels. They flatten it. So you don't even have the vibration anymore. And if you listen to the way I was counting, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 7, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 7, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 7, 9. Because when you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it flattens it. We don't have flatten. We have a vibration. So they took the vowels out your name, swapped them to flatten the vibration of your surname. The consonant hardening, the D's to the T, the B's to the P, turning a soft sovereign name into a hard administrative one. So remember, I told you Godlin is a sovereign status name from the top. The God removal. Look specifically for names that started with God, Il, Ali, or Bey. They were chopped off or turned into surnames like Good, Allen, or Berry. Peep this though. My grandfather's father name was Barry Andrew. He was the chief. He was Amiko, which means chief of the Choctaw Nation. His name was Barry, so most likely he was a Bey. He was Chief Bey Godlin. Chief Bey Andrew Godlin. That's who my great-grandfather was. Because it just showed you how they'll remove and make it look like them L's, Ali's, and Bays are Allen's, Berries, and Goods. Are Allen's, Berries, and Goods, and those are God's, Ali's, and Bays. The name correction. I'm gonna put this chart up, but it's a blank template to trace your own line. So you're gonna use my example above as your guide. So this is the paper that I printed out And I'm going to put it on the school app. So if you want this and you want to start tracing yourself back, this will give you an example of how to do so. This will give you an example. School app, I'm going to place this up over here so that you can have that for your research. Nobody else's, but at least it's an example that you can follow. And it's not just hearsay or somebody charging you to try to get you to come and do this. There's no charge. I've been a sheikist. There's no charge, baby. I will give you the knowledge for free. The prophet told us to go teach this to all four corners of the earth. And everybody wants to try to hoarder this stuff. It's not a hoarder. This is universally, y'all. This is for you. This is universally too. So, when moving from the Godlin or Godlin to Gadlin and then to Gatlin actually makes the receipts I have even more powerful because of the phonetic meaning behind those shifts. So, I'm going to show you how the authorities try to move my family further away from the divine into the material. I gave you an insight of this sheet of paper because I want you guys to know it's going to be available to you. The divine receipt, Godlin. Godlin. This is the high vibration name. It's a high vibration name, Godlin. The breakdown. By breaking it down as Godlin, we are looking at a name that literally combines the creator with Lin, which in many ancient tongues refers to a pool or a source of water. So even the Lin, that's why I say you sometimes you even gotta break your name up and take the roots of those words so you can break down to see what they mean. So in mine, with the Lin at the end, it refers to in ancient tongues as a pool or source of water. I'm Mami Wata. I'm telling you, I know I'm Mami Wata. I know. I had to. Abatala and Yimiya are my Orishas. Yes, I know that something with the water has always said something about me and this water. And to go back and see my family's name traces us back to the source. To the source. This ain't just what I'm telling you. I'm not beefing myself up. This is through studying who I am. The significance in Moorish science. We often discuss how our names were originally attributes. Starting with Godlin shows that my ancestors carried an attribute of the divine source. It connects directly to the Asiatic mind, one that knows its connection to the great God. And Asiatic, which is today's angels, knows their direct connection to Allah. Nobody can tell us we don't have no direct connection to God. That's why y'all have all these religions. That's what takes you away from source. That's what continues to pull you away because you keep looking for a middleman to show up for you. But even here you see, can't be. The first shift to Gatlin, that was the separation where the O was changed to an A. Like I said, they take these vowels and they can switch them up because a vowel can sound any kind of way. Godlin, Gadlin, A got a sound of an O sometime, O got the sound of an A sometime an E. They'll sound alike, yet that's how they shift it up off of you and change your name. So when that O was changed to an A, the word God was removed from my name. The word God was removed from my family's lineage. And names like Negro, Black, and Color were added. You get it? This is why the prophet said, we must teach our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of the said government and know that they are not Negroes, color folks, Black people, or Ethiopians. Because those are names that were given to the slaves by slaveholders. In 1779, and it lasted until 1865, during the time of slavery. This is a new era of time now. So with that separation, the O taken away and putting that A there, remove my family name, remove God from my family name. This is a classic administrative tactic by changing Godlin to Gadlin. The census takers and the federal agents effectively desacralized my family. They took the name of the creator out of our lineage on paper, preparing me to be classified as property or subjects rather than divine sovereigns. We serve a sovereign God. The final mask, Gatlin. That's the colonial label. Look at the Gatlin pistol. Colonial. That they done got that. That was ours. How y'all all of a sudden just put your name on it? Because you decided to change the vowels in my family's name and turn them into your own. The hardening, changing the D to a T, completes the transition. The connection. As we discussed, this name is what appears on the official government rolls, like the dolls or the census. It is a harder sound, often associated with colonial surnames. So that Gatlin replaced my Godlin family. So the Gatlins on the Dawes rolls ain't showing Godlin because Gatlin usurped my family stuff. Because Gatlin usurped my Godlin family's lineage by changing the vowels in the name. This is the name they used to try to finalize the writing away of the Choctaw chief status. My great-grandfather was a Choctaw chief. Guess what that already automatically gives me lineage-wise? A chief. My great-grandfather was one. Man can't give you these titles. So he sure can't take them away. And my great-grandfather showed up like that census-wise, and even when he was showing where he was domiciled or born at, it says Choctaw Nation. Everybody else got Tennessee, Alabama. They try to even wipe that out. They were trying to cross it out, but he wrote it so big and pretty, they couldn't. He wrote it so good and so bold, they couldn't mark it out. They couldn't change it. They could not change it. So that was the name they used to finalize the writing away of the Choctaw chief status. Then they say my great-grandfather froze to death in the mountains of Colorado, which how when he had a ranch, he was indigenous to this land. No, they took my great-grandfather out and took his ranch. His papers probably were on him and everything else. And made sure that they wouldn't make sure that my great-grandfather knew we was some Godlins because he sure put it there on the census. He has Godlin. Well, he has Choctaw Nation. Like I said, when everyone else, but then they misclassified him as black, even though it said Choctaw Nation, even though it showed he was a farmer. Never says he was a slave. Even one of my great-great-great-grandfathers that showed he was a servant. That don't mean he was a slave, though. That does not mean he was a slave. It doesn't. Look up the difference between a servant and a slave. It's a difference. Because after I go through this, because this is my maternal side. My paternal side, oh, baby. I don't even know if y'all ready. But my maternal and paternal put me right here. It don't put me nowhere else. It puts their lineage here, their lineage all the way back. Can trace them all the way back, baby. The receipts. I showed you the 3-step name correction. I can send you the table as I said so you can follow along for yourself to show the evolution of erasure. The name, the meaning, and the status. This is what they did. The name, the meaning, and the status was taken. Because Godlin or Godlin is divine source, friend of God. That's an original sovereign Moor. That's an original sovereign Moor. Gatlin is a phonetic alteration and transitions to subject. This is when they start making a subject. The Gatlin became the colonial administrative mask. Because, like I said, the Gatlin pistol, anything with Gatlin comes back to the Godlins. And you put your name there as your $5 self. And that denationalized us and warded, bringing the full circle, bringing it into full circle. So this is how they wrote you out too. That's why the prophet said, I brought you everything to save a nation. Now save yourself, because saving yourself is going to make you get to go know yourself. You're not going to depend on those outside of you to get to know you. Know thyself and your Father God Allah. So, what I'm going to do from my father's side, because I told y'all my paternal side off the chain too. So my father's side, the Olmec, that's my grandmother. My great-grandmother was from old Mexico. She was an Olmec. My great-grandfather was Cuban. So the Olmec grandmother or great-grandmother and my Cuban great-grandfather roots prove the ancient mother culture and the maritime navigation of the empire. Okay? The media influence, my great-uncle, my dad's uncle, John Johnson. He provides the receipt of how our family controlled the narrative and the publishing of the nation's excellence. So yes, I'm of the Johnson bloodline. John's son means God's son. Godlin, God's son. Hey, Latay gets it. That was my great uncle. He held the narrative. He held the records for us. He was our media. So don't talk about America ain't never been great when Ebony Magazine, Jet Magazine, Essence Magazine was amazing. My great uncle did his thing with that magazine. Did his thing with that magazine. And it kept you in the know of who was who was doing what, and how they was doing it. My mother's side, Chief. My chief, Barry, or Bay Godwin. Or Bay Godwin proves the terrestrial law and the indigenous chief sheik authority. Just by my great-grandfather being a chief of the Choctaw Nation or a Miko already gives me it gives me me. It gives me me, because through my bloodline, through my bloodline, chief. Not because somebody got to say, hey, here's a piece of paper, prove you're this. No. Cherokee in my bloodline. Choctaw in my bloodline. Olmec in my bloodline. Cuban in my bloodline. Both sides. Both sides, boy. Both sides. So they started with Godlin, recognizing our divine nature. They moved it to Gatlin to separate us from our source. They ended with Gatlin to try and lock up us into their system. But today, I stand as the daughter of the Olmec, the niece of the publisher, and the descendant of the Choctaw chief, to say the records are corrected. We are the Moors of the West. We are the Moors of the West, baby. We are the Moors of the West. So now, you guys, I have something that you can follow. And you can follow this and maybe even create you an affidavit. Get you an affidavit together so you can go correct yourself. Because the prophet once said, he said, it's going to come a time where we won't have enough secretaries to fill out these nationality cards. And I want to say that's where we're at now. Because they're telling you, they're saying to you right now, make sure you have your identification on you while you're out here in this world. Make sure you got this identification on you. Not just your birth certificate, not just your driver's license. All y'all that don't want no license, don't want no ID. Now, when they come pick you up, you can't say nothing because you wrote yourself out. So they don't know who you are. They don't know who you are. So it's telling you, you better have your passport on you, 2 other forms of ID to prove who you are. But as the prophet told us, that our nationality cards would change in our pocket. Our nationality cards have changed in our pocket. Because guess what? That's your form of identification. That's your form of identification. That nationality card, what does it do? They can't remove you from here. So for those that ain't got no nationality card, I advise y'all to get in touch with a temple. I advise y'all to get in touch with a temple and get you one. Because that will be the way that you end up in a camp. Straight up. You'll end up in a camp somewhere and can't nobody help you or save you. Because you've been warned. The prophet sent a warning a long time ago. The prophet warned of all this that was coming. Nobody listened. Everybody want to wait till the last minute. So, I'm going to go over this denationalization table with you. I'm going to read some words from the prophet because I feel they're important. When he gave a divine warning in the 1920s, when he told us what we needed to do, it was in the 1920s. This is 2025. This is 2025. And to sit and see how our people are acting, the prophet brought everything to save us. He brought us everything. He didn't, you know how to say, he brought everything. He didn't need you to go redo nothing. He didn't need you to go file for nothing. He already did it. Because he said, I'm going to bring you something you can't tear up. It's going to tear you up. And most folks thought they were going to tear this movement up. Most people thought they were going to tear up the Moorish movement. Not. The prophet already knew. He knew his enemies. He knew all that already. He knew it. So we're going to go over this again. The Godlin. The Gatling. Sovereign to subject. Godlin meaning friend of God. Gatlin is a phonetic alteration. And Gatlin is an administrative label. From owner to ward. Chavez, Olmec, Mexican, Hispanic. That's ancient native, right? So the Chavez Olmec is an Olmec. But they changed that to Mexican and Hispanic. But that's an ancient native. Ancient. That means ancient all over. That means everywhere. No matter where we went, we took ourselves. I keep telling y'all that. Saunders. So my mom's last name was Saunders. Saunders means Cherokee. That comes from the Cherokee bloodline. Then that Saunders became colored for the colored folks. Then black and Negro. National property. That's what they made the Saunders into national property when they were already the Cherokees. Because that's where my grandmother's family come from, Tennessee. Granddad, them Mississippi folks. Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, all down in there. All Chata. All the way to Oklahoma, because even when they got to Oklahoma, that was still Choctaw territory. These were territories. These were not states. They didn't have no lines up, no borders up. These were territories. Territories. So when you're tracing your phonetics, look at the marriage license. Go back and start looking at those different marriage licenses. from your grandparents to your great-grandparents to your great-greats, if you could go back that far. Go and start looking at those and see if you see any changing of the names anywhere. Because most likely you probably do have something changed. I can find where Gatlin became Gatlin. And I've been correcting the spelling, which corrects our status. Because even on my mom's unalive certificate, I made sure it said Gatlin. And I also made sure it said American Indian Choctaw Nation. Choctaw Cherokee, excuse me. I gave her both of them. So I corrected my mom for her. My mom wasn't going to not be here and not be corrected properly and be in her proper status. So they could take my mom's organs. Wrong. She's indigenous. Don't touch her. You have no rights to her. Straight up. So look at those marriage license and go and correct those spellings, especially when you see they're wrong. Connect to the empire. Trace your maritime roots. Whether it's Cuba, Mexico, Olmec, the islands, this is your bridge to the Moorish Empire of the West. This is how you tie yourself to the Moorish Empire of the West, because we're the empire. That's the kingdom today. You got to record the truth. So you're going to take an affidavit of lineage to the county clerk and secretary of state. Move your history from family story to public fact. So move your history from this family story that they're trying to sell everybody to a fact. Public fact, excuse me, a public fact. Secure the trust. Move your corrected identity into a family estate trust. I'm going through that right now. And going through it is going to be for me to better help you go through it without confusion. Because people will tell you to go do it, but the paperwork gets so confusing that you're like, well, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, right? So the paperwork can get confusing. So that's why I want to be able to provide you guys with templates and different worksheets that you can work on so it can help you further along what you need to do for you and your family. Okay, so looking for that, identify. I think I skipped this part. Identify your chief authority. Locate the leader in your line. My great-grandfather was Chief Barry Godlin, or Chief Bay Godlin. Most likely he was Bay Godlin, and Bay chose me. So it made sense. It made sense. I'm a Bay. Law enforcer. Law enforcer. So it makes sense that my great-grandfather was of that. My mom's name was Deborah, so she was a judge anyway. Telling you the lineage don't lie. It don't lie. She was a judge biblically. She worked for social services for 42 years of my life to help the seniors get assistance, to help young women be on Medicaid when they were young having children. So she still was in the capacity, no different than she was when she was biblically here. Man don't die. Allah and man are one, period. That's it. So identify your chief authority. As I said, my great-grandfather was a chief. A chief is a Miko. So if you ever hear them say Miko, that means chief too. That also means chief too, Miko. That means a sovereign head of state. My great-grandfather was a sovereign head of state. That's why the prophet said that we're supposed to stand in the affairs of men. Prophet Noble Drew Ali's father was some kind of state representative also. So when you talk about America was never great, that's a lie. Because how did my great-grandfather, how was he a chief over his whole nation? How are these things possible if America wasn't great? How are they possible then? How did all this break down? How did y'all become the way y'all are? because you came to a great place. America's been great, and it's gonna continue to be great, with or without the haters. It don't matter, with or without them. So you got to connect yourself to the empire. Trace your maritime roots, whether it's Cuba, Mexico, or the islands. This is your bridge to the Moorish Empire of the West. Record the truth. Take the affidavit of lineage to the county clerk and secretary of state. Move your history from family story to public fact. Secure the trust. Move your corrected identity into a family estate trust. Protect your heirs, like my uncle John H. Johnson did. He protected our narrative. My uncle protected our narrative. Islam, he protected our narrative. Right on, Uncle John. And his son is Kanye's manager. Ain't that something? See, that's what I'm saying. It's the energy for me and my family is serious. The energy for us is serious, y'all. It's beautiful. So, also, okay, so we're going to keep on moving, because once you take this affidavit and get you a family estate trust so you can protect your heirs, this is the official affidavit of lineage. So you need to print this on high quality paper and get it notarized, guys. So this is just an example from Sheikis Latonia Late Sabali J. Bay, trustee. Declaration. I, Sheikis Latonia Late Sabali J., am a sovereign Moorish American, descendant of the Olmec, Choctaw, and Cherokee nations. I am the direct descendant of Chief Barry Godwin, maternal, and the ancient Olmec mother culture, paternal. My family includes Johnson and Chavez lines, including publisher John H. Johnson. I hereby correct the record of the surname Gatlin back to its original ancestral form of Godwin. Standing. My status is protected by the 1786 Treaty of Peace and Friendship and the inherent sovereignty of my ancestors. I am a trustee of my estate, not a ward of the state. You sign it in your proper persona. Sui juris. Sui juris, however you say that. That's what you need to do. Like, that's just something that, you really need to take on and do for real. Because we ain't went nowhere. They changed the letters to change your status. My family went from Godwin, divine source, to Gatlin, property. Not today. I'm bringing the receipts. From the Olmec heads in Mexico to my great-grandfather, Chief Barry Godwin, and my uncle, John H. Johnson, Ebony and Jet Magazine. I'm dropping the Way Home Guide on the school app. It's called the Way Home Guide. Learn how to find your chiefs and reclaim your inheritance. Move from tenant to landlord. The Moorish Empire, Chief Godwin, status correction, family trust, a Mexam. They give you 5 daily affirmations. My school app clocked out, but I still got you. I can put stuff over there for y'all. So the daily frequency affirmations I want you guys to do so that it can help you and guide you and put your mind state in a place where you can find these things. Because you might get frustrated because you might not think you're finding what you need, right? So on Monday, which that is Monday coming, this is what I want you to say on Monday. And I will even put a copy of this in the school app too, so you guys can go and join. It's free to join too. Join and you can get these daily affirmations. But because this is on StreamYard, it should go to YouTube. And we're over here on TikTok. Hopefully you guys can go back and listen. But for Monday, I am the living breath of my ancestors. My status is sovereign. Tuesday, I reclaim the original vibration of my name, whatever that is. Wednesday, I am the trustee of my life and my land. Thursday, The kingdom recognizes the empire. I am the bridge. Friday. Like the Olmec mothers, I am the foundation of the future. My family trust is a fortress. My sons are heirs to an empire. So, claim your empire, claim your status. If you need any help, reach out to your sister. Reach out to Sister Latae J. Bay. She got you. I got you. I got you. I can help you. Well, help you and guide you through what you need, what you may need to get through this. So we're going to end this tonight. I want to end with, of course, I got to bring some words from the prophet, because he gave us a divine warning. So we're going to do the divine warning by the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. The prophet warns all Muslims, governors, ordered to read, sit right there, divine warning by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. Prophet warns all Muslims, governors, ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. Oh, your jacket's nice. I hereby, that's good. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work and in their homes or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. And I'm going to say this before I continue. He said, stop flashing your cards at Europeans. Flashing your cards at Europeans is even y'all sitting up here trying to be all in people's business that has nothing to do with you. You're still flashing your card because you're showing yourself. So don't flash your card in front of them at all, not even self. That ain't got nothing to do with you. And you fighting on the wrong side. You're fighting on the wrong side. So stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Because he said your dog and nationality card is going to change in your pocket. It's going to change in your pocket. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. By the order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Islam. Noble Drew Ali, thank you so much for everything that you've done for us to bring us here. Now, tomorrow for Sunday school, I am going to be doing a demonstration on the turban, the fez, and the feathers, showing you how far back these turbans and these fezzes go, and including our feathers. We had to recognize each other some kind of way when they took the fez and decided to put it on their own head. Well, how will we be able to notice each other, right? Was it with the feathers? Most likely. So we're going to get into that tomorrow. So if you guys would like to come on and join, I'm going to set up something on the school app for tomorrow, and we'll do StreamYard. We may do TikTok. I don't know. This TikTok it don't be jumping like my TikTok I got kicked off of. I don't know what I said, but they like, yeah, you restricted. I'm just like, boy, these folks know. They just don't want nobody to tell the truth. I'm guessing that's what it is. But I want to get into what 70 means. 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17. I'm going to take you back to what 70 means. we're gonna talk about the fezzes and turbans and feathers. So if you would like to join in, if you have some information that you can drop on us, let me tell you something. I don't know everything. And I feel like each one teach one. And I don't want to be the smartest one in the room. But I want people to come on and we learn together. Everybody else wants to be the star on all these different platforms. I just want us to build. Let's build. I want to know what you know. I'm sure you got something you can teach me. So we're going to close this out today, giving all high holy honors to, well, first, giving the highest praises to our Father God Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Also giving the highest praises to our Mother Allah, the Mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. Giving high holy honors to our illustrious and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the only prophet to me that brought the truth to this part of the world. The truth and nothing but the truth. So that we would be better people. We can learn to be better citizens. You can not call yourself whatever. You need to learn to be one so you can learn how to act. Just because that's what you feel you're not based on what you want to position yourself to be doesn't mean that you shouldn't strive to be a good person. So if they had to put a name on it and say citizen, so it would get your attention, because most of the time, even if it's coming from a whatever I was about to say, it could be coming from somewhere else anyway. But we're going to talk about that tomorrow, okay? So we'll talk about the turban, fezzes, and feathers. We're going to talk about the 70, what that means for real. Because Q drops that 17, but I don't think y'all really know. Yeah, that's some surface stuff, and the prophet told us as more scientists, we don't research in a scanty way. We research. So because somebody put something on the surface, we got to go further into it and dig deeper, get up under that rocky soil so we can see what's there. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. And I think you guys will get real excited about it because it's a really dope presentation. So I will see y'all tomorrow for Sunday school, giving honors to each and every one of you out there tonight on these platforms. Have fun, spread the information, each one teach one. Man, this is what this is about, shawty. Peace and love. Well, the school app popped off on me, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to have to go back in and I'll see how that's going and what happened with it. But yeah, StreamYard. I can't even talk StreamYard. I will see y'all in a minute. Peace and love.
There's no one quite like you.
It curbs your appetite so hard that you have to force
Ain't
yourself
nobody
to eat
like
more,
me.
otherwise you won't eat for the rest of the day. What it does is it naturally releases GL